And we are live. Good evening. I'm going to go backwards. It's good evening from the UK. Good afternoon from Canada. And it's actually good morning, Saturday morning from Australia. So we're saying hi to you all. Thank you for tuning in. This is episode 24. I can't believe it. 24 of Carerpreneurs Making a Digital Move. A little bit about this show. We are digital business owners and very proud of it, but we have a commonality. I got that word right. And we're also carers. We found this amazing business and we come on once a month just to share our journey and this business as well. I will just quickly introduce myself. My name is Amma. As you can see on the screen, I'm based in the UK. I am a mum to a super fabulous young man. And what makes me a carer is that my son also has additional needs. I've been doing this business, it's just over 3 years. I work in the public sector as well. And that's just a bit about me. I'm going to pass the baton to my fabulous co-hosts that are here, and I'll start with Nicole.
Hi everyone, my name is Nick and I am in Australia, and yes, it is Saturday morning here, and I have a son with a chronic pain condition, and which kind of turned my world upside down 7 years ago. And I found this business that I could do around all his appointments, and that gave me a sense of purpose and drive. So that's me.
Thank you.
Vicky.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nicole. Thank you, Emma. My name is Vicky. I'm based in Ontario, Canada. Mom of 3, business owner. So among those 3 kids, one of them has special needs that cause the family to adjust in many things to be able to care for her. And through this business, I met these amazing women that can understand what I go through because they go through the same thing. So it is amazing to connect from like far. Like if we go in a physical world, we are very far from each other, but this business made a way to be close to each other.
Thank you. And before we go any further, I was going to say, do let us know who you are, where you're watching from. We have one of our co-hosts. She's not with us in person, but she is in spirit. We've got lovely Leanne. Hi, Leanne. This lady is another amazing business owner and carer as well. We hope you're good. And then we also have Geraldine, who says, hello, lovely ladies. Hi, Geraldine. Thank you for tuning in and showing your support. And she's put that she's watching from the UK. Amazing. Oh, so ladies, behind the backstage, we were talking about the topic, or I was just saying today's topic, and it's about that G word, GGG, guilt. We've all been through it in some shape or form in life. The theme is dealing with guilt, putting yourself and your business first sometimes. I think as a carer, guilt is something that hangs over our head a lot when we want to just have a little bit of me time and deal with business. And when we're talking about business, it doesn't necessarily mean like business monetary, business, life is business, things happen, it's my business kind of thing. So we thought that we would just discuss today that theme, dealing with guilt and putting yourself in your business first, because we had our topic last month where we were talking about how sometimes we forget ourselves when we're carers, and we put everyone and everything before us. So this just really ties in lovely with I think one of the things, well, for me, I'm not going to speak for you ladies, was when I try to remember myself, I feel guilty because I think like, well, no, you're a mum, no, you're a carer. That's the first, you shouldn't be thinking about yourself, you're being selfish. So I took a leaf from your book, Nicole, and I've got some questions here and I'm going to just throw them out. I don't know who wants to answer this one, but the one of the questions that I want to answer is, what does guilt actually look like for you when you try to prioritize yourself and your business? Who would like to tackle that question?
I can go first. I would say for me, I do a lot of work on myself so that I allow myself to do that. But you know that, like, people watching will understand mama's guilt, right? And like, I think when you have a child that needs that extra sort of support, it like levels up by 100. So the guilt can be, like, for me, I'm an extrovert, right? I love being around people and I get energy from being around people. I love going out to lunches or social events, and I can go to someone's place and be there for 5 hours and talking. My son is very much an introvert. Add the chronic pain onto that as well. And I've had times where I'd get him to come. He'd be trying to please mum, come to lunch or come to dinner or whatever, and halfway through a normal dinner, not even a me dinner, a talkative one, he would like drain, and like you could see his face would all puff up, and it's like, so it's kind of that guilt. It's like, oh no, like, and then I have to run. So then I'm feeling guilty because I'm letting people down, that I'm not staying with them. I'm feeling guilty because I took my son, and then his health has suffered. And it wasn't through like, and trying to get him to go to things is actually what the doctors were recommending. But it's like, you just sort of feel torn. You just feel torn. But honestly, there's times where you just need to put in those sort of like protected time, is what I like to say to people, like protect time to look after you. So whether it is you need to get someone else to come in and try and help, sole parent, pretty hard, but you know, you need to sort of figure that out. It could just be put yourself in a room, or, you know, get people to come and see you. For me, it's like, come see me. But sometimes I have to go out and make me feel better so that I'm a better carer. And yeah, I'm rambling, but that's what I feel like mama's guilt is.
No, you're not rambling at all. And you know, when you was talking, I was just actually thinking to myself, when did we say that we wanted to guilt to be part of our life, that we were going to have a relationship with guilt? Because guilt just comes in unannounced and decides that it's now going to be part of our lives, especially when we just want to try and have, and I like to use the word typical. I know some people say normal, but we want to have just that typical life, and just, you know, doing things that people take for granted. And guilt has decided to come into our lives and constantly talking. So you're not rambling at all. And I do get it. You know, that mama guilt, it's even for people, just mamas or dadas, I suppose, dads as well.
Yeah.
You know, guilt decides that, yes, it's going to come uninvited into our lives. And for you, Vicky, I wanted to actually ask, why do you think this is an assumption, but I think it's a very strong assumption, which is quite factual. Why do you think so many carers struggle to put themselves first without feeling bad about it?
I think it's that, you know, when you have just a normal child, even if you have a normal child, sometimes you feel guilty leaving that child with somebody to care for them, and then while you were just taking some fresh air. So having a child with, you know, who maybe doesn't express what they feel, you live by guessing. Leaving that child with somebody you feel guilty because you feel like I won't know what happened. Maybe that person won't be honest. Like you think that you are the only one who know your child, and so you sacrifice yourself staying there all the time because you think, okay, if I leave the child, maybe to the restaurant, if I take time with my husband, maybe my child will feel left alone. And so that is how really for me the guilt hit. But I have learned that if I don't take care of myself, I won't even have what to offer to my child. So you have to really let go that fear. Anyways, if our children are still living, it's not by our strength. God is watching over them, and just trust the person who will be caring for your child. The same wisdom will be upon them. You teach where you can, and just pray for the peace and take time for yourself.
Yeah.
That's so valuable. I mean, do you think we sometimes actually allow guilt to blow up and overtake us? Because you were talking about leaving our children with other people. I mean, my son now, but when you was talking, he can vocalize in a way that I can understand. But when you was talking, I do remember the guilt that came over me when it was time for him to start reception, because he hadn't been away from my side. I was just having this sleepless night the day before. And I remember when the school bus came and I was thinking, he's going to have a meltdown. This is all going to be new. How am I going? I'm going to feel so bad because he has to go to school. And I remember when that day came, he actually got on the bus and he just went like that. And I'd allowed guilt to actually take a hold for that period. And when you were talking, it was like I was just thinking to myself, sometimes do we actually embrace guilt ourselves? Are we guilty of being guilty? I mean, what do you think, ladies?
We have this, like, it might not, no. I grew up in a church that kind of made you feel really guilty all the time. And so we would just have this saying, oh, it's, that sort of, that thing in me guilt. And so it's like, it's kind of inbred, and like I know all my family and extended family say the same sort of thing. And it might not be about anything at all, but it's like you've got to be the best child you've ever been, or else you're going to, go to the bad place. And it's like, oh no, they don't say things like that anymore, but like that's kind of in you. And it's like, yeah, like as I said before, I work on it. Like I do those affirmations, I pray to God, and I work on not being guilty. But when something goes wrong, like I'm the first one that's raffled in guilt. Like I can feel it physically, which is ridiculous. But like one time I took my son to school, like I was working full time and had meetings with, vice chancellors at universities. And I remember taking my son to school and he passed out because of pain, and in the car, like I thought he was faking it, but he literally passed out. Can you imagine the guilt I felt? Because I'm like, and then my head is, but the doctors are telling me to send him to school, and I've also got to go and earn money. And it was ridiculous. And I was a mess, absolute mess, because I just couldn't do anything right. That's how I felt. And it's real. It's real. And it wasn't my fault per se. I was following instructions, but I still felt that pain as a mum, that what I did wasn't right. But what was right? Who knows what was really right?
Exactly.
Yeah. But it's real. It's real.
It's real. It's raw. Leanne
Mm.
has actually put here that it took me a long time to leave my daughter with anyone when she was non-verbal. I really get, because you just like you were saying, Vicky, you've got all these things running through your mind and your child can't explain, so you're wondering what happened, did this happen, will this happen, will that, and it just can wear us down sometimes. And again, excuse of pun, sometimes we're guilty of being guilty, embracing that guilt. And she put here, yeah, it is. It's such a roller coaster ride of emotions. And it's, I don't know about you ladies, but I used to have like two voices going, and it was deciding which one am I going to listen to, which one am I going to adopt. And then when I decided to adopt this one, then there'll be, well, there'll be something, the guilt would be talking. If I adopted another one, still the guilt would be talking. It's crazy. Before we go any further, we've got the lovely Flavia who's tuned in. Hey Flavia, thank you so much for tuning in. We really appreciate that. And she's put here that she's watching from Belgium, so it's quite international. This one I was going to answer it, but I'm going to throw it for all of us. Where this question here: have you ever had to set boundaries that made you uncomfortable but was necessary for your well-being or business? How did you handle that? Now, I remember there was times where I'd actually go and hide just to get 5 minutes to myself. And I would try and lock myself away somewhere. And I don't mean lock the door, but just, try and squirrel myself away somewhere. And I'd have a cup of tea with me. I'd sit down. And just as I'm about to take the zip, Mom, and have that ever happened to you? And I'd sit there and I'd say, if I don't answer, it's going to stop. But then the guilt is there, like, your child is calling you. And I'm just like, no, if I just sit here, all I want is 5 minutes to myself. It's going to stop. And my son would be, mom, and obviously eventually I would answer. I wouldn't leave him alone, because the guilt would be eating away that you have to. It could be something really important. It could be, I mean, how, ladies, have you ever had to set boundaries? That's the first thing.
You can go first.
I like the way she was like.
Oh, that's a tough question. Seriously, sometimes you have to set boundaries, because otherwise we just be running 24 hours almost. And when you are in that non-stop mode, I don't think you will continue. At a given moment, you just get disconnected completely. And keeping in mind that it's not just that child we are caring for. There is other family members, there are our husband, there are our other kids. So I just remember when I just decided, okay, somebody will be caring for her, and then something happened, and then you have to interrupt and come back because something serious happened. That guilt, saying, okay, I put those boundaries, I wanted to take my time, I decided that, okay, so this is a time for you, and then you didn't even end your plan didn't end as planned. You have to interrupt and come back because the person who was caring for that child was overwhelmed. And then that guilt hit. It's like, okay, maybe you should not go. Maybe if you didn't go, maybe things will not be as they are right now. So yeah, boundaries. But to be honest, if I'm talking for myself, sometimes I put boundaries, but they are kind of destroyed in a minute. So
They're flexible.
yeah,
You're
you have to,
agile.
I like that. Flexible. And before you give your
yeah, flexibility is always is a thing.
we always have to be very flexible. What was that? There was an advert, your flexible friend. Was that Access, or it was one of those cards? But before you put your input, Nick, Leanne has put yes for sure in terms of this question about boundaries. Weekend mornings, just a little sleeping, but it's not fair. She's put it's not fair on her daughter. I mean, guilt because her daughter has needs. And then we've got here Martha, who's saying good afternoon to us from California. Good afternoon, Martha. Thanks for tuning in. So what is your take, Nick, in terms of boundaries? Are you able to set them and stick to them, or are you like Vicky, where they're out the window in a matter of minutes?
I think as people who are carers, everyone's situation's really different. And so I would say right now I don't need to worry about setting boundaries and things because my son is sort of traveling quite okay. But if I'm looking at a couple of years ago, it's kind of more I set expectations rather than boundaries. Like I try to set expectations about how the day would be going. So I would always be talking through with my son about, I've got these meetings on at work. So if you need me, I'll come and get you, but, come get you from school. But, and it's really funny having these conversations with a teenage guy, but got these different things on and I'll come and get you if you need to. And then we've got this appointment at this time. So, and then I'm going to go and see the girls for dinner because I need my sort of headspace. And he was fine to sort of look after himself, but it was, I don't know, it's just that trying to set those expectations, and he would, just do what he could. And sometimes Leanne just goes out the window, and sometimes it absolutely goes out the window. But other times, having those conversations helped us to sort of have that sort of time and space where we could.
Yeah, boundaries. Trying to embrace boundaries, and I don't even know if embrace is the right word, to be honest, because we don't necessarily embrace guilt. It just decides to invite itself into our lives, and it's not leaving anytime soon. But yes, Leanne has put boundaries, they're just out the window at times, which is very true. But sometimes you can choose to keep them depending on the severity of the situation. I guess it would be like, what would be the end result? I mean, is life going to stop? Is the world going to fall apart if we just
if you take 10 minutes for a cup of tea, have a coffee, it's okay.
Right. We are nearing the end. So ladies, anyone watching, what one piece of advice could you give in terms of dealing with guilt? Or there may be some people watching who actually want to just break up that relationship with guilt. What piece of advice would you give?
I would suggest, it's that saying, when you're on an airplane, you've got to put the oxygen mask on yourself first. So you really need to think, okay, I'm either spending time in my business or I'm going and meeting with people. I need this time so that I'm going to be the best person to be caring for my child. It's, you know, it's really good. And like take that oxygen mask and use it, like, because sometimes you just need to talk to someone so they understand what's going on. I don't know about you. I need to, sometimes I just need to vent, get it out, and then it's okay. then it's like a million times better, and then I can come back and I can deal with things. So that's what I would suggest. Like, make sure you do prioritize some time, whether, you know, if it's someone you're looking after someone and they're at home and you can't do anything else, maybe it is just, you know, a cup of coffee or a tea in your room in quiet, or maybe it's going out. But I've worked with people and about coveting time for their business, because sometimes it's not even about like who they're looking after or anything. It's just they're so flexible, they just do whatever. And it's like, but maybe just you need to cover this. Just give yourself 15 minutes every morning, and that's when you can come on and do this and just go. That's just build it into a routine, and then so that people don't get frustrated, set that expectation, have that conversation with the people around so they understand what's going on and they understand how important it is to you, because sometimes people don't really get it. And it's setting that sort of expectation that in turn makes you feel better, and then you no longer feel guilty. And then, you know, of course things sometimes completely change, and you know, you have to do whatever. But if you can start setting those routines, set those expectations, then it makes you feel better and things just be a bit more successful. That's what I think anyway.
Thank you. That's great advice. And what about you, Vicky?
I really think Nicole is very right, because you give what you have, right? So if we don't take care of ourselves, we won't have anything to give to those we are caring for. So even though you can plan and it doesn't go as planned, really, that is when you have to be flexible. If it doesn't work as planned today, it doesn't mean that it won't work as planned tomorrow. So keep your schedule, try to stick on it, and then when it happens that, you know, your schedule changes, that is where flexibility jumps in. Don't be discouraged. Keep that mindset that you have to take time for yourself to be able to take care of others.
Yeah.
Thank you. And Leanne
You're
has
welcome.
just added to that. Friends can help you. You were saying, both saying, you know, friends can help you to keep boundaries for yourself. Like
Oh,
Nicole has done for me in a situation that was going out to dinner with a friend and just enjoy the moment. It's so true. You both said it, leaning on others. And life happens, you know, that's the thing. And there are ways, I don't know if the right word is actually ways, but there are solutions. I mean, one of the things that brought us together is we are business owners, and we were just fed up of the guilt that we endured. I don't know if maybe endured might not be the right word, but for me, I felt endured from working for someone else and being a carer. I just felt that I had a lot of guilt put upon myself. Yeah, you was going to say something, Nick.
Yeah, I was actually going to say, like, I actually had guilt because I gave away my career. So I gave away working as an executive at a university, which I'd worked really hard for like 13 years. And I gave that away to look after my son. And then I lost myself. And I gave it away to look after him and be his carer. But I lost my whole identity. And then I lost my self-worth. And I needed to find a purpose. And I don't think I'm the only person out there that is like this. And this business that I started gave me purpose. And like, I have my my self-worth back, and I don't have that guilt. But you know, it's so real, so tangible, even to feel that. And like, and then how terrible do you feel? You feel guilty about feeling guilty because you're doing something that you need to do, but you feel guilty, and it's just like, why? It's hectic. But this business really gave me purpose and gave me drive, and like it works around family, so I just love it.
Yeah. And that is also part of why we come on, because the topic today is guilt. A lot of carers do have that guilt with them, and one of the things, especially trying to find a way in which to earn and be present for those that you care and still be you and not lose your sanity, is very hard. And this is what this business has given us. So we do come and we do also show. So anyone who's watching who wants to know more about this business, it's streaming live on our pages. If you go to the top of our pages, you'll see our websites are displays. You just go to our page, register with your name and your email address, and you'll be sent a personal invite to attend one of the the free webinars, and they're purely informational sessions that tells you more about the business. There's no pressure. There's nobody there taking your details. There's nobody there trying to sell you anything. So come and have a look. And maybe this just might be the solution to say goodbye to guilt when it comes to trying to find a flexible way to actually earn and still be present for your loved ones and still have your sanity and find back your identity as well. So you're severing that relationship with guilt. We just want to say thank you. Oh, Leanne has just put, just before we go, she's put here, yes, there are coping strategies that you can put in place. Definitely. We've come to the end of episode 24. We just want to say thank you to everybody who has tuned in. Thank you for your support. Thank you to those that will be watching the replay. And we will see you next month with another exciting topic. Take care and bye for now.
Bye. Bye.
And this